Hello and welcome to Friday Double Bill, the show where we analyze and evaluate the latest films from Bollywood and Hollywood to help you make a more informed choice at the movies. I'm Fahad Samar and this is Mayank Shekhar. When John Connor, leader of the Human Resistance, sends Sergeant Kyle Reese back to 1984 to protect Sarah Connor and safeguard the future, an unexpected turn of events creates a fractured timeline. Now, Sergeant Reese finds himself in a new and unfamiliar version of the past where he is faced with unlikely allies, including the Guardian, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, dangerous new enemies, and an unexpected new mission. Alan Taylor directs this James Cameron sci-fi classic as a rebooted first installment of a new trilogy.
Well, firstly, thank you very much, Fahad, for letting me know this is actually part of a trilogy. I had no idea about that. So that means there are two more to go. So far as this one is concerned, at least from a point of view of the concept itself, Fahad, you're looking at a person who goes to the future, then comes back to the present, or goes back to the past, then goes back again to the present. And what I kept thinking about was what happens to that person when he's in future? Is he not in present? And when he's in present, what happens to him in his past tense? When he's in past tense, frankly speaking, if I wasn't thinking so much about this picture, I may have perhaps enjoyed it far more. It somehow reminded me of Looper, if you remember, the 2012 Bruce Willis film, where, of course, they make a hue and cry about it because the entire film is on that concept. But here, it really, at least conceptually, was making very little sense to me. How about you, Fahad?
Well, I wasn't getting tense about the past, present, or future. The idea is just to relax, lie back, and let the Terminator, good old Arnold Schwarzenegger, at the age of 67 is back, and this time, like you pointed out, it's a bloody trilogy.
Right.
So we're going to endure 3 such films. This one wasn't about as bad as I expected it to be. I actually quite enjoyed the special effects. I enjoyed the thrills and chills, and of course there is the mother of dragons herself. I mean, I know you don't watch Game of Thrones, but for all the fans out there, this is, the old Khaleesi herself, Emilia Clarke, playing Sarah Connor. And this was an iconic character played and immortalized by Linda Hamilton in the Terminator 2 film particularly. And that's, pure adrenaline, this stoned woman. This is Emilia Clarke's playing the younger version of, Sarah Connor. And I think I quite enjoyed it, if for nothing else, for the promise of this, new actress and an homage to some old ones.
Well, but make no mistake, Fahad, and of course the viewers, but this is, after all, an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Here's this guy who I find so fascinating because, started out as a bodybuilder, it became like this big rage and then, of course, became the world's, least likely actor or superstar because he really cannot act, let's be fair on that. But they also gave him roles where you don't need to. He just needs to play Arnie. And then he gets into politics, becomes the governor of no less than the world's fifth largest economy that happens to be California, and then again back as Terminator. I think what I find most fascinating, and I don't think there is any equivalent in any pop culture as Arnie, unless you look at Hindi space and perhaps Navjot Singh Sidhu. He's also been through a lot of stuff, but nothing as compared to Terminator.
You have the Terminator and you have the Turbinator.
Well, so far as oh my god moments are concerned, or OMG moments in our case, I think the entire film is really made up of those moments. That's the whole point of those pictures. I think the one thing that you realize right away is the kind of precision in terms of technology that Hollywood has reached. The number of people who are working on VFX and SFX and, blowing things up. And that one shot that I remember of the Golden Gate Bridge falling and the bus going down, and you look all the way down from your 3D glass. I think it gives you a sense that they've mastered this art to a point. The number of thousands of people who are working on it round the clock, that they really need to keep rolling out movie after another. Fahad, we've been watching trailers of late, and certainly today we watched about 6 or 7 trailers of movies that really they look lovely, all right, but they roughly mean the same thing, which is a bunch of OMG moments. What do you think?
Well, listen, as far as I'm concerned, T2, Terminator 2, really set the benchmark as far as iconic, video imagery is concerned, special effects are concerned. I mean, way back in 1991, they give you the liquid metal
Right.
with the Terminator just being able to shift form. Now then, every ad film and pretty much uses that whole thing of that liquid metal. Has become so iconic. It's like that Michael Jackson video of black and white where morphing was first introduced, which we saw just the other day together, sitting at a bar. And ironically, these are things which you'll never forget because they're part of our pop culture and also our movie history. This time they have particle disintegration, and you have the Terminator breaking up into tiny, tiny little particles and again reforming. So it's kind of interesting in a way. You're trying to reinvent yourself. Don't forget, this is the 5th installment in the Terminator franchise, and God knows they'll be back.
Well, coming to the verdict, this is the section where we tell you whether it's a Dekho or Pheko in the theatres. In certain films, and this is certainly one of those, they don't qualify as Dekho or Pheko because they belong to, as we were discussing, the pop culture history or the movie history in some form or the other. I grew up in the 90s, and there's no way in hell I would have not watched this film whether anybody told me to Dekho or Pheko. In fact, from that perspective, I think you must watch it in theatre for sure, and ideally, of course, in 3D.
Absolutely, Mayank. Theatre में देखो, इसी हफ्ते देखो, 3D में देखो. It's not see you later Terminator, it's see you right away Terminator.
Guys, that was Friday Double Bill for you. Tell us what you think of the show. Tell us what you thought of the movies. Like and share. We'll be very happy.